Hello and welcome back to the show. So I'm really excited about my guest today, Kendra Chee, because she is not only a fantastic real estate agent based out of Malaysia, but she's also a great team leader who actually started out part-time in real estate and was able to successfully transition into a top producing agent and a team leader as well. So if you guys are in real estate, maybe looking to start, maybe you are part-time, or maybe you're just a single agent looking to scale up a team. I think today's episode could be very valuable for you. But Kendra, welcome to the show. I'm super excited to have you join us here today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on. So yeah, before we get started, we'd love for you to have an opportunity to share a little bit more about yourself and your background, so our audience has kind of an idea of who's talking with them.
So hi everyone, my name is Kendra. I am based in Malaysia. My background is chemical engineering. I studied in the States before UIUC, and then I came back, worked as an engineer my first year in, and then second year in, I tried part-time as a real estate agent. And then I never thought that it'll be my full time. But as of today, it has been my full time. I've resigned from my chemical engineering job, and here I am today, leading a team of agents as well as striving on my personal sales.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So it's really cool that you were able to get started part-time and really be very successful, almost immediately, right? So, walk us through that. What was that like when you first got started doing this part-time? What was the motivation to kind of get you into real estate in the first place that, made you want to pursue being an agent part-time?
Okay, that's a good question. Okay, because it all started. Okay, my mindset is in this era, we can't survive with just one source of income. That's how I feel. And then perhaps maybe it's the culture or the people I hung out with back in university. Um, we all have the hustling mindset. So when I'm back in Malaysia, I was like, oh, I need another source of income. I want to hustle. And then I read a book by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I figured you read that too, right? And I think that makes you start real estate too, right? But yeah, what happened for me was I was reading the book, and actually it has nothing to do with me being a real estate agent. I just wanted to, be because the book talks about how buying property, having passive incomes from one real estate, maybe 1,000. But then when you have 10 property, that's like 10,000. So those are passive income. So start small and then flip and then resell and then buy. Then yeah, so I was thinking to be what do you call that? Having multiple assets so that I have passive income coming in. But after buying my first property, my agent, the one who sold me my property, reached out to me and asked, he was like, oh, you have potential being a real estate agent. Why don't you try it out? And that time was COVID. And you know how COVID, we were working from home, pretty free, very flexible. You arrange your own time, of course, as long as you finish your work. So then I'm like, yeah, why not? And it's when you're, at home, have not many people to talk to. It's nice that you are engaging with the outside world. So I'm like, yeah. Then he taught me trainings online, everything online. Throughout COVID, my first deal, that was end of 2021, around end of quarter three, quarter four, early quarter four. Then I closed pretty significant amount of deals as a part-timer during COVID, where there are no physical showings. Even for sales and purchase agreements, we were all like courier to our clients, and then our clients will sign and then courier back to lawyer, just like that. Like no physical. I've never even met my clients, all via online trust. Yeah. And yeah, so it worked out. So then I was thinking, right, if COVID without any physical showings, I'm able to do it. It will what's gonna be more difficult, right? So yeah, so it that's how I started being a real estate agent.
Yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, you're absolutely correct. You want to have more than one source of income, right? Even as somebody who is in real estate, you want to have multiple sources, just like you do, right? With your team as well as your personal sales as well. And it's funny because it's absolutely correct. We kind of both started out in real estate because of reading the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. Definitely the same story for me as well. So it's kind of an interesting way to becoming a real estate agent, right? Just wanting to become more of an investor first, and then jumping into becoming an agent,
Oh,
right?
you
Almost
did
by
too? You
circum.
wanted to be an investor previously? Or you
Yes,
want, oh, really? Oh, I
yes.
wonder if we ask this question to like 10 agents, like how many of them read Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yeah, I think it'll be maybe a little bit more than most people think, right? That's kind of how you get inspiration, right? So yeah, so I mean, Kendra, you were able to get started, fairly quickly, right away and be successful. You mentioned you were doing showings during COVID, and you were able to figure things out. Now, there's a lot of part-time agents out there who get started who don't see that same amount of success. So, what would you say are some of the things that maybe you did that you think were a little bit different that allowed you to be successful as a part-time agent, so much so that you actually became full-time because you had so much business going on?
I think, okay, maybe some tips for people who wanna start part-time real estate, because definitely what if you have a main job and you don't know if real estate will work out for you or not. Not everybody are risk takers who are willing to just resign and immediately jump into real estate. Sorry.
Yeah. No, so you can continue. We can.
Yeah, okay. Jump into real estate and then um be so because I do have I interviews I interview new members, and then actually we mostly prefer full-timer, those who can commit. But I came from being a part-timer. Apparently, I'm not just a one-year part-timer, you know. I've been doing part-time real estate for like 4 years. It's not easy because it requires a lot of time management, because I have a 9 to 6. And then right after my 9 to 6, I will squeeze in my remaining time, maybe 7 to 10, that 2 to 3 hours. I'll be doing callings, call my clients, follow-ups. So 7 days a week, maybe 5 days, I have that 3 hours to squeeze to make appointments for my weekends for the showings. So I think actually psychologically, or how I um, manipulate myself is by having a full-time in engineering and making real estate my part-time. I'm able to be more disciplined because I have no other time. I need to do it during that time. So I'm forced by myself due to my own time constraint to do it. So I've been consistent because of that. Because there are many full-timers out there who maybe early in the morning go to office at 10 a.m., have their breakfast, and then scroll Instagram. And then afternoon, maybe they call for like 1 hour, 2 hour, and then they go to gym, and then they have dinner, and then I don't know, social, and then a few hours. So they perform like what I'm performing too. Maybe they only spend 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours per day doing their job, but I'm doing that as well. So if you ask me, what's the difference between part-timer and full-timer? They are the same. It's your mindset, right? Because I mentioned this before. Um, as a businessman, a lot of businessmen out there, they don't just have one business. They maybe have a restaurant, they maybe have a pub, they maybe have a studio, a gym, photo, and anything out there, right? So are they a part-timer in their restaurant, or they have multiple business A, B, C, and they're a full-time to all of them, right? So it's all about your mindset and how you squeeze in everything. So I think in this era, there's no such thing as part-time, full-time anymore. I think it's all about um, managing different roles of your interest and passion.
Yeah, 100%. It's about basically the amount of effort you're putting in, right? Because you could say you're full time, but only working part-time hours versus what you've done, which is almost make it an advantage that you are part-time because you only have certain hours during the day to focus on real estate. So you want to maximize the hours that you have every day to work on your real estate business instead of working on activities that may or may not drive your business forward, right? You're maximizing the time that you have instead of wasting the time that you would have had, right? If you were a full-time agent, quote unquote.
Correct. Because not only I think you need to be disciplined. Actually, it's all about how much do you want it? How hungry do you want it? Because I can actually not do it, right? I can maybe do it on Monday and Wednesday, that's all. But I want it. I actually want to do well in real estate. So for part-timers out there who want to do real estate, maybe you should ask yourself, what do you want out of this? Like what are you chasing? Right? Because for me, I have a I have another advantage of having a full-time. So I don't have to worry about having income coming in or not. So I do real estate with no stress, um, nothing, nothing pressuring me, and it's all out of my own personal hunger. And I love the chase of sense of achievement. But when you close deals, it just feels really good, and you are able to deal with different people out there, age range. And I think by doing real estate, it actually helped me perform better in my full time. So what I'm trying to say is, um, because in real estate, in a corporate world, you need to be very professional, right? You write long emails, super professional, and do very well presentation deck, blah blah blah. But when I'm in real estate, I need to do a transition, which was difficult for me in the first place because I was so professional, and then I was trained to be more casual, more friendly, simple English, easy to understand, conversational. Yeah. So, and because of that, I deal with different age range of people, from students to first home buyers to CEOs out there. And when I apply my people skills and my presentation or speaking, all these skills in my corporate world, when I do presentation, even to CEO, I'm not so um, nervous. It's like so normal to me because I've been doing that casually um, to like big bosses or entrepreneurs out there who want to buy multiple real estate. So yeah, it actually made me engage better with our CEOs out there, and which actually helped my performance in my full time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually really cool that it was able to help your other job as well, right? Because the skills that you develop are not just only for real estate, right? They're for, all other aspects of life. And if you're able to develop those skill sets, like you mentioned, sales, time management, these things can apply to other businesses too. And then it's just a matter of learning the industry
Yeah.
at that time. So a lot of part-time agents do have that advantage in that they can cross their skills across different industries. So something else you mentioned also as well earlier is that you were able to manage your time fairly effectively. So for any part-time agents out there who or maybe struggling with that, what are some tips and strategies that you have for them when it comes to managing your time, making sure you get things done, right? Making sure you're filling up time even when there's canceled appointments so that yeah, you're not wasting an hour or 30 minutes here and there. What were some of the things that you thought really worked for you to maximize the time that you had and to really manage that so that, you're not letting it go to waste?
Okay, that is a very good question because when it comes to time management, I feel like you can't really manage your time when you're hustling because those appointments are instantaneous. Those clients, leads, they're all like spontaneous.
Mhm.
Meetings come spontaneously in my full-time job also. So um, I think it's about how you prioritize your time. Um, but I make it doing calls or in between whenever I'm free. I make it a habit. Uh, I didn't make it a habit. Somehow I just want to do it. I'll just pick up my phone and follow up clients or do callings. It has become a habit to me. Yeah, so maybe my tips to people who want to fully utilize their time is when you have, even when you're walking, sitting um, on public transportation or while waiting for somebody or just waiting, nothing to do, instead of scrolling social media, maybe you can reach out to your clients, do calling because it's just maybe that 5 minutes call, it will be a potential lead, right? Yeah. Yeah, so that's how I do it. I think it's about um priority. Yeah. I prioritize things and weigh which one has more advantages for me. Because previously when I was um younger, you know how back then when you just graduated from uni, you have the how to say, you party a lot, you like to hang out with friends. So how do I manage it? How do I that is an important part for me as well. I was pretty extrovert previously, but now I'm like super introvert. Maybe because of my work. But yeah, previously I I like to hang out with friends a lot, on weekend or Friday night, TGIF. But then when we hang out until like 2 a.m. in the morning, I have 8 a.m. showings. I have to wake up early. So that was, I mean, when you were younger, you can do it. Your health can maintain it, but when you get older, it's deteriorating for me. And eventually, I've come to the realization that I can no longer do that, right? I can party until 2 a.m. in the midnight and then 8 a.m. showing and then work until like 7 p.m. and then dinner and then party. So I feel like I need to rest. And then so there are a few things that you need to drop when you're hustling, like your what do you call this? Like party time, your
Yeah,
social
like
life.
your
What do you call
social, yeah, social hour, whatever, Your
your social life or your health, your relationships, and your career. So I need to drop one of them. So I've decided to drop it because you know how real estate is actually like an entrepreneur. You're like self-employed. So and the entrepreneurship journey is a lonely journey. So nobody will understand you because you're just driving. And if you because I have friends asking, "Oh, why are you so busy? Why do you gotta leave so early at?" Because I was leaving at 2 a.m. and slowly I start leaving at 12 a.m. and people starts to call me Cinderella, like, "Ah, Kendra's a Cinderella, 12 a.m. She gotta go." Yeah. So eventually I stopped doing that and then I feel that um it is what it is. And if you need to grow and that is something I need to drop, then yeah, because I don't want to sacrifice my health. That's one of it. And that's also thing, one of the reason why I decided to resign from my full-time job because it's tiring for me actually. Like no rest mentally. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's so important, I think, for agents to understand this if they're starting out, part-time or even just if they want to jump in full-time as well, is that you have to sacrifice certain aspects of your life if you want to be able to utilize your time correctly, especially if you're starting part-time because you only have so much time during the day. So you can't live the life that you were, living before. You have to put aside something else, right, in order to achieve the things that you want. And then it's, if you have a big enough vision, if you have a understanding what it is that you're trying to build, the future lifestyle that you're trying to create, it makes it a little bit easier to create better habits, right? To, not hang out and have a social life as much, to cut out a lot of the waste, right? That, the time that's been just kind of been wasted to the side and be able to utilize your time correctly. And then something else you mentioned earlier, I want just really highlight as well is the fact that if you don't have enough time, if you have a limited amount of time, that you want to make sure you're utilizing your time correctly, right? So if you're multitasking, right, like you mentioned, if you're on your commute, if you are just kind of sitting around having waiting time, those are great times to kind of catch up on follow-ups, on text calls, response to messages, emails, those different things to really condense your time as well. So that's actually some really great advice that you had for anybody who's looking to, start out part-time and then also make that transition into
Mm.
full-time as well, which kind of brings me to another question, which is, was there any difference when you transitioned to being a full-time agent? Was it easier? Was it, harder for you when you transitioned because you were already kind of working more of a like a full-time schedule, right? Even as a part-time agent.
Um, I feel like maybe because my role was is already different when I resigned, when I transitioned. Okay, because I thought that I will ever resign because I studied so much. I'm book smart, so I wanna be the nerdy engineer making something out of it, right? Um, it's difficult, thermodynamics, organic chemistry, those are really difficult. So like I'm like, oh, I don't want to waste what I studied. It's just my side income. And since I perform well, then and as well as many full-timers out there, why can't I just continue? I don't have to resign. I'm doing well. But I am slowly growing my team, and I realize I need to resign in order to fully focus on my team. So I resigned not because of my personal sales, but because I want to grow my team sales. And it is more difficult, actually, if you ask me. After I resigned, it has nothing to do with being a part-time, full-time. In terms of time, it has been better for me because I do body checkups, right? And then doctor will be like, your cortisol is so high. Then I'm like, why? I have no stress. Then I'm like, I have no stress. I'm pretty good in managing my stress. I was saying that. Then she's like, yeah, your mentally you are very good in handling stress, but your body cannot really cope with it. So it's bad. Then I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't realize that. So, but after I resigned, I decided to travel a lot and then rest as much. And I actually felt the difference. Like I am more alert. I'm more just just better. I can't really explain, but just better. Yeah. Yeah, so I can focus more on my health. That's one of the reason why I want to resign and then grow my team. And then what when in terms of time, that was very good. But when you say is it harder for me in real estate, it's harder in a sense because I'm focusing on team sales after I resign. And apparently managing people is way harder than managing my own personal sales because personal sales, you know how to do it and you just do it, right? But when you're teaching, training, and whether they get it or not, you can't I can only give them this much, right? Whether they apply, absorb, that's really up to them. I can't control them. So that was difficult for me. But I love that it's difficult for me because that's where something I can grow and challenge myself. So yeah, it's still along the journey. I'm still trying to manage people, but it's definitely more difficult than my personal sales. But I'm still doing my personal sales. I love doing personal sales, and I think it's necessary to do personal sales to engage with my agents more on the ground with them so that whatever question they have, I can really relate and give them valuable in-depth solutions.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what I've heard from a lot of different agents who have done personal sales, are very successful, and transitioned into being a leader,
Mm,
growing a team as well. And that's, they find it to be so much more difficult because if you're successful in sales yourself, you have discipline and you have full control over like your schedule and your mindset and how much effort and habits that you're building as well. But when you're
Yeah.
trying to motivate and lead other people. Everybody's an independent contractor, right? So you can't force somebody to do something that they don't want to do, right? Because they're not an employee. But you still have to be able to motivate them and to really bring out the best in them as well. So it's a tricky kind of position, but it's very valuable to learn those skills because if you can get everybody to perform great, then you're able to make a bigger impact. Obviously grow your income and grow your team and grow your business a lot larger as well. So yeah, it's really interesting that you started out building your team, while you were part-time, and then your team just kind of took up so much of your time that you actually had to step out of your full-time job into becoming in a full-time in real estate as
Yeah.
well. So, just to kind of, wrap up today a little bit, what are some of the things that you've learned when it comes to motivating other agents, when it comes to, teaching other people your skills and making sure that they're successful as a leader? What are some, maybe just one or two things that you feel that has been working for you and you would, kind of want to add on to that and improve on that as well, just for any aspiring leaders that are out there?
I will say, I will say that actually I always have a dilemma whether I should use the leader word or because I actually prefer the word partnership. Real estate to me, it's a partnership. I'm here to teach you, but I if you don't return, show me the effort I put in, I give you 100%, you give me 20%, that's not gonna work out. It's a partnership. Like it's impossible for me to keep motivating you, asking you what's going on, why are you not doing it? Because at the end of the day, why do I have to force you to earn or pursue your career, right? So, um, to me, I will love to see this. I would like to tell anybody who want to do real estate, this is a partnership. This is a self-employed entrepreneur, real estate entrepreneurship, right? So whoever who's willing to guide you, lead you, it's a bonus. Even if you disagree or you have your own mindset, you can grow, right? So they are just here. We are just here to guide them, but the remaining effort is how much they because a lot of there are a lot of members out there who attend trainings but they don't apply, they don't execute. Yeah, attendance and execution is totally different thing. So I think execution is very important, and being in real estate, here are some successful behaviors or characters that I see from my agents. Those who perform well are they're self-motivated. They are hungry. They have a goal. They know what they want, and they are problem solver. I think problem solving skill is so important. If every time because you meet different client, different problem every day. If for every problem you don't bother to think and always try to ask for answers, one spoon feed, um, it'll be difficult for you to perform well because you can only do that much. So I think having strong analytical skills, people with strong analytical skills actually do perform pretty well in real estate because we have a lot of engineers who turned real estate who became real estate agents, and I think many of them are top performers. So that's one thing I want to highlight also. You know how previously, all this while my first 2 years I've been high. I actually didn't let my family know that I'm doing real estate because they'll be like, why are you being an agent? Why are you because previously during that time, real estate agents are like, like insurance agents, financial planners that trying to do cold calls, asking people like pretty petty to them. So it's not so glamorous, but but to me, I know what I'm doing. I don't think it's petty. I think it's very awesome that I'm able to convince people and help people with million-dollar deals. Yeah. So, but yeah, what I'm trying to say is real estate are not just for people who because a lot of people perceive real estate agents are maybe like sharks, cunning, those kind of negative thing. But I think real estate will be the new um it has been, but it will be it has been more and more professional nowadays to the point where accountants, engineers, those with very technical background also are interested in real estate, not just for people like dropouts who doesn't have a degree. Yeah, I mean it's the easier way in, but even if you have a degree, there's nothing to be ashamed of by being a real estate agent because I am so proud of it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great that you have that attitude and mindset as well, because not everybody, right? Not everybody is going to get 100% support jumping into real estate, doing sales, right? There's some bad, connotations that come with that sometimes. So it's really great that you're able to apply that, be successful, and help other people get started as well, and really help, build up other real estate entrepreneurs, right? And continue building your business as well. So. Kendra, I just want to say thank you for taking some time today out of your schedule, being on the podcast, sharing your values, sharing your story with us. I think it can inspire a lot of real estate agents, especially those who are starting out part-time, just getting started, who are struggling maybe. So for anybody out there who's watching or listening to this that want to reach out to you, that want to learn more about what it is that you do, what are some of the best places for people to follow you on?
I mean, they can follow me on Instagram. You can put my handle here, Kendra Chee underscore. Yeah. And then if anything, they can always DM me and ask. But yeah, thank you so much for reaching out to me. I actually enjoyed doing all this sharing and yeah, I mean, it's very late for you, so I hope you have a very good evening.
No, yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for being on the show. We'll definitely leave your Instagram in the show notes in the description. Before we wrap up, just one last thing. Do you just have anything that you want to leave with the audience? Any last tidbits or just last nuggets you want to just leave before we wrap up today?
As in what?
Just any last pieces of advice, any last thoughts?
I mean, okay. You don't need permission from other people to do what you want to do. And if when there's a door of opportunity, you should just step in and grab it and try. Just try. You'll never know what will turn out because if real estate don't work out for you, I mean, you can try for 6 months, 1 year. If it doesn't work out for you, you can always go back to whatever main job, full-time job that you have because the longer you wait, the harder it is for you to step out because maybe you're younger now, maybe you just graduated, you don't have a family to feed yet, you don't have a lot of commitments, car loans, housing loans. You should start. The younger you are, just start because you can go back to your full time anytime you want. But because if it works out for you, you'll be really grateful, thankful to yourself.
Absolutely. That's some great advice, Kendra. Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you in
Thank
the next show.
you.
Take care.
Thank thank you. Bye bye.